music room.
Woo! 'Hell
You're gonna get
yeah.
an A. I know you're gonna get the highest marks on it.
Grade.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know T didn't work.
60 sweep is great. Everyone loves 60 sweep. 60 sweep is amazing. We love 60 sweep, TBH, and he's so incredible. Bro, why was it just me and Gail? Goodness.
Bro is more glazed than a
I did
donut
my
right now.
best. Yeah, that's because I'm awesome.
I, I'm I'm trained to wait for a pause, but you got
Yeah,
this,
I
man.
too.
I like to go get my food.
Excellent.
Get him out of here.
He's working on it.
It'll
Finally,
just
peace
decide
on
that
Earth.
my device
Gale
has
has
been
silenced.
Shut your mouth. It's fine now. For some reason, Streamlabs does this thing where it just occasionally decides, his device, which says microphone Razer Kraken Kitty Edition, should be reset to random numbers which don't make any sense instead of the thing that it literally says on the tin. And it drives me crazy.
I
But
love
we're here.
technology and how it makes everything easier.
Anyway,
could tell.
yeah, everybody, we were just trying to glaze 60 sweep there while we were waiting for a couple of our party members to show up who are a little bit, a little bit late at the moment. But that is going to be okay. We will be a-okay. We're just going to go through the recap and yeah, because of the kitty ears. That is the exact reason, chat. Of course, kitty edition. Do you not see these? They're right here. Anyway,
We cannot perceive them.
they're a little bit tilted, but anyway, we should do a recap. And then I guess if Ko is not feeling well, he probably will simply not be here, and that is okay. We will just carry on without him for the session, as we must. But would anyone like to begin recapping all of the disaster that was last time?
We all got up in the morning at the inn in Wine Grotto, and we finally managed to gather ourselves downstairs to the sheriff to hear about his mission for us. I don't remember much at all of what he said, other than look for cultists, I guess. So we
can
all set
expand on
out. Yeah, if anybody can chime in here,
Oh,
please
we
feel
found them.
free.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we
After,
found cultists.
After we got told about what we were supposed to do, go to the town of Lime Grotto and investigate. We went to the town, and when
But-
we arrived, we found the town in pretty big disarray.
To clarify, this is not the town of Weimgrado that's
wait,
all
no,
messed
it's
up.
not.
It's the town of Revale.
I'm
Ravath.
sorry. I'm bad with
Ravath,
names. My
excuse me.
bad.
You're
Oh
both
my
bad with
Alright.
them.
goodness.
It's fine.
We're
Brutal.
Takes me a long time to remember.
Carry on
names. Anyway,
with the yeah.
we did go to the town, and we found it covered in a very ominous cloud, making everything appeared darker and not sunlit. And the townsfolk seem to be in a very well. They seem really depressed.
Look
And
down, you'll always be a slave. Look down,
Wow.
look down.
I don't think
You're
that's quite the
standing in
vibe.
your grave.
Are you sure?
Oh.
Seems like it.
It's more like nothing matters. Yay!
It's sort of the same energy, just carried through a different purpose. Whatever happened to our boy Coat Rack? I'm pretty sure, Slash, to answer your question, that Cobrak is fine over in Foxhill, where we are not
Yet.
yet.
Until everything goes south and we have to flee.
Anyway, carry on. I'm gonna intermittently interrupt the explanation, the recap. I've decided I'm gonna be the world's worst DM. So carry on.
So we were sent to Ravath to check out things. Meredith was a little bit perturbed because she has family in House, which is the adjacent
Which
village,
is in the middle of the
or at
street.
least. And so she was going to wander off, but she received some gentle encouragement from the party, and they decided not to split up and head to Ravath first, because that was the mission. And surely they could do that and then check on House. Unfortunately, upon entering Ravath, uh,
Go on.
our party ended up over their head because the whole town, in addition to being depressed, seemed to be very clued in on the whole cult thing and heavily surveilling the party. And they gently encouraged us, after a few bluff checks gone awry, to visit the church and learn the good word of Groitus. And it worked. In fact, the party decided to pose as worshippers of Groitus, and it turns out that it worked so well that actually Thalia and Vico are now in the church's loving embrace. Courtesy of Lyriel.
One person managed to use the run command, like from Pokemon, and got away safely. The other two got that fat gut, can't escape.
I think I have my own opinions that shall remain unspoken.
So, to make that slightly more understandable, the party went to the church in the back of the town, where they ran into the supposed cult leader. And while most of them were, the cult leader was surprisingly cordial, most of the party agreed to leave, except for the party members who were posing as potential new recruits to the cult, who then proceeded to immediately fail saving throws against a charm effect. And so now Thalia and Vico are charmed and are seemingly stuck in a loop with this church working for them. And oh my gosh, everybody, take a second to thank Slashspade for gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Slashspade. Always so kind to us over here. And just as before, if there is somebody who you'd like to give a hero point to, please let us know. Alright. Well, I feel like that pretty well recaps things, right? By the way, just so everyone is aware in advance, if the stream cuts short, I'm sorry. We do have a derecho going on right now with like 80-mile-an-hour winds, so could be rough. I feel like Thalia or Vico are going to be needing one in short order. I will leave it up to the one that is presently here to make that decision. Do you want it, or do you want to pass it off to Vico for when he's here?
I actually Oh, Slash is saying get back to you on that. So I think he
Oh, okay.
wants to hold that
You
decision
can hold it then,
until an
Slash.
appropriately dramatic moment.
Yeah, we'll let Slash hold on to that one for the time being. But all right, I think we'll just have to hop into it now.
I am here now, if that changes anything.
Well, we got through the recap, so it's good timing. We're just gonna jump right into it with the four of you out front.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that didn't work.
No.
No, no,
I
it
admit it
didn't.
didn't go very well. Well, should we go check on Meredith's people in house?
Before we go, we
See
should
if they're
probably have...
We can't just leave our party members here. Unless we're planning.
I don't think we're equipped. to
Certainly
take
we're
it.
not going to leave them here forever. We should at least come back for them at some point.
We all determined how differently time was working here when we were looking at Cult's stopwatch.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid about.
Did we figure out like how different it is?
No, we just know it's different. I was actually wondering if anyone has any fresh fruit.
Not on hand at present, but I can likely go find some.
I do not have any.
No.
Okay. Trying to think. I have a theory.
Your theory
My
involves fresh
theory
fruit.
is no. The theory doesn't involve fresh fruit, but the fresh fruit is a good way to a good if somewhat slow way to test the theory. So
Yeah.
fresh fruit will eventually oxidize, but only over longish periods of time. Because of the way that the second hand and the minute hand seem to be moving, what it indicates to me is that the same minute is being repeated over and over and over. And if that is the case, then an object like a piece of fruit, I imagine, would just never oxidize.
So
Cool theory, honestly.
So you're suggesting is that we just leave a piece of fruit outside the village, come back, see if it oxidizes or not?
Well, no, I was thinking I could just take a bite of an apple and then just hold it for 30 minutes and see if any of it oxidizes or not. But anything that takes effect but takes a bit of time would work. Just that was the first thing that came to mind.
Well, I do have some sun rods. Those last for about 6 hours, or they're supposed to.
Long time to wait around.
That's a long time for a test.
You guys are gonna camp out in front of the church for 6 hours in the town, while everybody else just goes about their business like, what a fucking bunch of weird whatever.
No, the idea with the fruit was that it wouldn't take that long. Yeah. So I was hoping that somebody would come up with a test that was a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's a good idea, though.
Hey, Dungeon Mommy, I have a question.
No.
Okay, fine, Daddy Master, I have a question.
I'm going to kill myself tonight. What is your question?
Make sure to send a video. So...
Not mean that.
If I were to... from our, like, interaction with the nymph, could I make a reasonable guess of whether or not the four of us could take her in a fight?
You're trying to gauge how powerful you imagine she would be?
Yeah.
Roll me in what is your roll me a wisdom or less check. If you roll under your wisdom, I'm going to give you a very straightforward answer.
Okay. So when you say wisdom or less, is that like just 1d20 plus my wisdom?
Yeah, well, 1d20 and then no additions at all. It's just if you roll under your wisdom.
That is under my wisdom.
Okay. You you think very thoughtfully about this for a second, and you realize, the nymph used some sort of charm effect on
Mhm.
2 of our allies, one of whom is a drow. Drow, you know, to be inherently good at resisting these sorts of mind-affecting spells.
Is that drow specifically or elves?
I think it's elves as a general rule.
Okay, sweet.
Veer, do you mind muting yourself? We can hear all the scratching around.
Oh, sure, yes.
Thank you.
I'm just snacking.
No, you're fine. Just, yeah, don't want it picked up on the mic while we're monologuing. You think about that, and you realize the fact that nobody of around your skill level, or around probably even Thalia or anybody else your skill level, could even cast some sort of effect that would cause that sort of result.
Mm-hmm.
On top of this, you think about the fact that she has an entire cult of loyal followers. She's known as some sort of legend for a reason, and is thought to be the reason why the water in this area for so long was maintaining its high quality. And you sort of come to the conclusion she may be a little bit out of you guys' punching range.
Including if we had all 6?
You imagine with all 6 of you, if you were to jump on her collectively, it would be a tough fight.
Okay. So, step 1, get our friends the hell out of there, and then we can start the plan on how to figure shit out. So I imagine that as we are now, none of us will stand, 4 of us will not stand a chance against her. Primary objective needs to be rescuing Thalia and Deviko. I know some of the legend of this area. If I take a look more into some more of that, perhaps there's someone at house who knows more. Then maybe we'll be able to find some sort of weakness, some way to break the charm, to free them, and perhaps even the townsfolk. I don't know if the townsfolk themselves are. Wait a second. Here's an idea. We can ask the townsfolk to describe what happened when. What's her name again?
The High Priestess?
Yeah, the High
Lyriel.
Priestess.
Lyriel.
Okay, Lyriel. If we can get the townsfolk to divulge what happened when Lyriel this first appeared here, maybe we can figure out whether they are under the same sort of charm effect. And if we figure out how to break it on just Thalia and Vika, we can perhaps free all the towns.
Not a bad plan. How would we get one of them to talk to us willingly?
Inquire about their high.
Well,
naturally we inquire about their high priestess. Mention that she was, oh, so kind, so beautiful. We want to know how she came here, what she's done in the time here.
All right. Should we figure out how time works here first, or not?
I
Well-
mean,
Well, we already have something we can do. While we're doing that, I can see if I can think about what's some sort of test to figure out about how time would work.
I mean, the fruit thing was just, is the same minute repeating? Because if that was the case, then you would see very little oxidation. But I don't know what other ways we could test if time is not in fact passing. Okay.
I think I have an idea.
Oh.
Let's hear it.
This would be kind of, well, not really risky, but someone would have to run out of the barrier. Meredith, you can run quickly.
Debatably quickly, yes. If I shed my armor and use cheetah sprint, I can go about 400 feet every 6 seconds.
That
What
is
if
very
you-
fast.
In a straight line, of course.
Here's my idea. What if you take my pocket watch and run out of the radius of whatever's affecting us, and then come and then run right back in? You'll know when you run out of the radius whenever the watch works as it really should, and doesn't do this weird stalling thing.
Okay. Okay.
That's the best idea I've got, but it would involve you leaving, and then after that, we could tell you how long it felt like you were gone.
All right.
It's a good enough test. Something to start
So,
with.
Give
what
some
is
way
the
of-
exact plan here?
The exact plan is for Meredith to leave for like, I don't know, a minute
minute?
or two, and then come back with the watch and then so I take the watch, leave
Yeah.
for like a minute. About after that minute is over, I come back and they tell me how much time they think passed.
At least how long it felt like to us.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going, Colt Irons is going to take out his pocket watch and hand it to Meredith.
I'll keep it safe, though I
Would you like
seriously
to?
doubt.
Would we like to talk to the townspeople before we try to leave? We're probably going to be walking through town anyway.
I should fix
You
that
guys
up.
can do that as I head out.
Okay,
I imagine I wouldn't be much
Arazoth, I
such a
will
discussion.
follow your lead.
We're doing interviewing townsfolk.
Yeah, interviewing more or less. Yeah, that's what I would call it.
We
So
don't want
I
to
have decided
interrogate them. Don't
I
want to
have
be
no intention
hostile
of
about it.
interrogating them.
Inquire. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
You gotta
Okay.
get him
Yeah.
talking.
Right.
Yeah, we just want to learn a little bit more about this mysterious ethereal figure that we've just had such a lovely chat with, that we definitely came back with all our number from.
The most beautiful woman you've ever seen.
Oh, yes. Of course.
True.
Sure.
Truly.
Assuming she's a woman and not some sort of fae.
I'm literally shivering in my boots
Or a
when I think
corpse.
of how
Fae
that
can
woman's
be
like.
women.
So can corpses.
Yeah. You're not
Okay, but
lying.
can they be corpses, or do they just go back to the Feywild?
All right, well, I'm ready to go start this test, so
Let's
I'm
do
headed
it.
out.
All right,
I'll
let's go.
follow.
All right.
The path goes this way, right? We decided.
Yeah, it goes around
I
a
think
big
we can-
windy.
I think we can skip to that.
You could probably, yeah. I'm just, you can just kind of, cut through.
Walk.
I'm not gonna make you walk the
Yeah,
whole
walk and all
way.
that.
Hey Dave, thanks for making it out for the stream. While everybody's walking their tokens over to the front of town, everybody should say hi to Dave.
Hi, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hello,
Okay.
Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Hopefully we don't die.
Alrighty. So you guys begin making your way back to
Making
the
our
front
way
of town.
downtown.
Walking fast, hauling ass 'cause it's cold out. Da-na-na-na-na-na, and I'm freezing.
Yeah. Hey, I'm walking here.
As usual,
Hello, fine sir.
all of their eyes continue to just watch you as you make your way around. The man who you say hello, kind sir, to just sort of looks at you and nods with that somber look in his eyes.
Do his eyes look like they're seeing me by chance?
Well, they are eyes and they are looking at you. So,
But does it look like he's
Yes.
like staring through me or looking at me?
it looks like he's analyzing you.
Okay, interesting. So he's definitely looking at me. Hello.
Nod.
This is what's her face's house, right?
Yes, this is in fact
Altar girl?
what's her face's house.
This is Alina's house.
Alina, right? That was her name. Altar girl.
Yes.
Yeah, I got
What's her face?
Exactly. Whatever her face is.
Her
face
has a name.
Actually, no. She has a name. Her face, it does not have an individual name. Unless, of course, she's schizophrenic.
That's disturbing. All right, moving on.
Well, given the nature of this
Okay,
town.
perhaps so.
Not unlikely, but not necessarily.
Hey,
Let's not
DM.
talk to people that we already failed bluff checks on. That sounds like a good idea.
Hey,
Yes.
DM. Did I ask who this statue is of? I forgot. I don't
No,
believe I did.
you did not ask who this statue
I-
is of. Do
Is
you
there
want to
any-
read the nameplate on the statue?
I do want to read the nameplate on the statue.
It says Jonik, hero of a foreign land.
Sounds like a Chad.
Absolute legend.
Who this
I'm
person
sure.
is.
All right. Has Meredith left to go do her experiment?
I can say I have left.
Sure. I guess, yeah. I mean, everybody else was kind of just. I thought everybody else was gonna get closer, but yeah, if you're just waiting there, sure. Meredith.
Well, we were going to have a chat with people that we haven't already failed bluff checks on. At least that was my impression of what the plan was.
So while you're doing that, Meredith, I guess you guys can go ahead and strike up a conversation. And Meredith, how long are you waiting outside of the town?
Let's see. I'll go 2 minutes.
2
Exactly
minutes?
2 minutes.
Okay.
As detected by the watch.
All right, I will tell you when you come back in.
Sweet.
Okay, so the three of you here are doing what?
I'm waiting for Arzov to do something because I know that he is a much better.
They were reading the statue. I want to, I think, talk to somebody in one of these back alley. I wanna go find somebody in a less obvious location. So I'm gonna head down this little alley here and like run off somewhere.
You snoop around down the alley.
Yeah.
Everyone's eyes sort of following you as you all walk down this creepy little stairway. The mist still faintly shining up above. Boy, wouldn't it be cool if the audio that was supposed to play played? Isn't that crazy?
That would be pretty banger, man.
Alright, I will stay at the back of the group, and once no one is in sight, I'm gonna draw my greatsword. I'm ready for trouble now.
You don't want trouble.
You're gonna draw your weapon?
That's threatening.
Oh no.
Okay, Koshtu. You draw your greatsword and continue to stand in this back alley.
I'm sus of these people after what I've seen.
Yeah, but they are just staring at us.
Wait, we just passed someone in the back alley. You guys don't want to talk to them?
Then I saw that there was a way to get out here to this like messed up graveyard area.
That we've already been to.
Yeah, but there's a person out here.
Okay, well, I won't.
And that person is in like a very tight spot, which is not ideal if it turns confrontational.
Yeah, that's why Alright, fine. I'll sheath my weapon before following you. But I am ready to draw it.
This person is kind of out here, off by himself,
very
in
anxious.
a nice kind of secluded spot.
I'm the only. There were 3 of us that walked in and talked to that lady, and 1 of us walked out of there not mind controlled.
I should not talk to the lady.
I just feel like I should chime in that before all of this went down, Thalia told y'all what to do if she got captured. Didn't say anything about Vico, but she did indeed get captured. That might be worth considering.
I do not.
I know. I'm aware.
Oh, I think we were told to leave it.
Anyway, you guys, I guess Colt steps around a bunch of gravestones to surround this fucking guy.
Skips on over.
Bro, he's far away.
I'm looking around.
He's just chilling. He's adventuring.
Yeah, I want to walk up to this guy and Well, what is he actively doing?
It looked like he was picking up some nearby logs from a pile. He'd sit down and putting them over in a little alcove over by this sort of how would I describe that? This small house, this small grave shed.
Yay!
Are there like more to pick up on the ground there?
Yeah, there's a few.
I'm gonna offer him a hand. I'm gonna say, good evening, sir. You need a hand with that.
He looks to you and says, "You can help if you wish."
I'm gonna go ahead and grab a log, help him out.
I
You
will
do
also
so.
help.
All right, you both start piling on the logs. I guess eventually the stack is gone and all successfully moved. He then just sort of looks at you blankly.
My companion here was hoping to learn a little bit more about your leader. He was interested in what you all are into here. You know anything about it?
About
Your leader or anything? She seems
Of-
nice, but we've never met her before, so we're just curious.
Well, of course I know about our high priestess. Who doesn't in this town? She is our savior, after all. The one who brought us the knowledge of the great end and the great peace that we have as a result of that knowledge.
Oh yeah. Well, what was it like when she arrived here? How big of a savior was it? She sounds marvelous.
Roll a diplomacy check. This guy seems a little bit cagey about it.
Oh my fucking god.
Nice roll, bro.
He just looks at you and says,
Beautiful.
"Well, for anything of that sort, of all her exact efforts, you would probably want to ask her yourself.
I see.
She's very open to meeting new." And he looks you up and down and says, "Converts, especially from other religions."
It's good to hear. I was a bit worried about it. That's why I wanted to talk to a couple other people first. I didn't want to make a fool of myself.
Yes. That would be
Indeed, it would be a shame if you did that.
undesirable.
Good day.
Meanwhile, Colt, what you doing up there?
Odd head off with costume.
I'm wondering what's this guy doing?
He appears to be sweeping the stones.
Very productive.
Excuse me. Do you have a moment?
Mm,
You know,
I
feel like
have
get something-
only enough time, but always enough time.
Yes. Do you know if there is a place where I can get a nice meal here? I'm quite hungry.
If you wish for a good meal, simply go to the church at meal time.
There's a meal time.
We all bring the supplies and the feast makes itself. It grows by the day.
When are these meal times? I'll be sure to catch the next one.
8 a.m., noon, and 5 p.m.
Sounds like a really good schedule. I like it. Thank you, kind sir.
Indeed. And he just goes back to wiping the stones.
My friend Costu. I figured out where we can get some grub. Apparently, they hand out food in the church.
Food in the church.
At in the morning at 8, in the middle of the day at noon, and near the end of the day at 5.
How exactly is that helpful?
Okay, Meredith, you can come back in now.
Sweet. See, where did they head off to?
So roughly 2 minutes have passed outside, and you guys have it's probably been like, in the time that you were stacking all of that wood and having these conversations, it's probably been closer to 20 minutes, if you had to guess. Which you do have to guess, as it turns out.
Okay.
Meredith is back.
How long has it been?
How long were you out there?
2 minutes?
Felt like a lot longer than 2 minutes.
Only longer than that.
Just under half an hour, maybe? A little bit more than a quarter of one?
So
A
20
decent bit of
minutes?
time more. Yeah, about that.
Okay. You can assume, I guess, then there's one for every for every minute that passes outside, 10 minutes pass here.
It might be a good conversion rate.
So, if we leave here, anything we do, if we leave anyone behind, we should try and make haste.
Let's see. If we leave for one day, it'll be almost 2 weeks before before we get back here.
I imagine that the townsfolk are under the same sort of spell that Vico and Thalia are. If that is the case, I do not think our friends are in any particular danger, except for that of apathy. I imagine that when we come to rescue them, that we will be in quite a bit more. But now that we know how much time we have, I think we can leave. Prepare.
Meredith, how long do you believe that will take us to get to house?
DM.
How long to get to house from here?
How long to house? Yeah.
Pulls up map.
She's like a day's ride.
Pretty much. It's
Okay.
very close, so probably a day.
A day's ride. We spend a day there, see if we can get any help. Come back. That's roughly a month that our companions spent here.
No, it'll be a month and a half. We spend a day looking for help.
Well, 30 days, yes?
Well,
Spend
if we
one
spend a
day.
day riding, if we spend a day riding there, and then a day looking for help, that still leaves another day for us to ride back.
Yes, that's 30 days. And then we're here.
Is it 30 days?
I assume so, yeah.
No, yeah, it would be. About. That's still a considerable amount of time.
It is, but I don't think we have much choice at this rate. Now, we also have to consider what Thalia has said. I imagine she has some sort of plan if this...
You're right. You're right. Well, sounds like we need to need to skedaddle then.
Yes, we better get going.
Let's make
To
haste.
house?
To house.
To house.
To home. To house and home.
To hearth.
Well, no, to house and home.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, I was muted. Before we leave, do we want to try to talk to anyone else to learn more about Lyriel?
We could.
Yeah,
Who would we
well,
talk to?
sure.
I don't know. It's just an idea I have.
DM, as we were walking into town, did I see anyone who stood out as far as outfit or what they were doing or anything like that?
Only the people in the church. Everybody else is dressed fairly normally. But in the church, you did notice that those in prayer were wearing robes.
I'm going to inquire after. Do we know the merchant's name who asked about Alina?
Vered.
Vered?
Vered.
Vered. Okay, I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna walk up to this guy and say, "Excuse me, in my travels here, I met a man named Vered. Have you perhaps heard of him?"
Roll a diplomacy check.
Oh, good, a diplomacy check. All right, yeah, because I am
Ours off.
You can do it.
amazing at those. All right, let's see. Oh, -1, maybe even a -3. I'm sure this is gonna go great. That's a -3. I think one of my traits is -2 diplomacy. Wow. All right, I did great.
The dice are not on our
Damn.
side tonight.
Oh no.
The dice want us to kill, to hack and slash.
Yeah, the dice want us to fail.
You
Real
move
bad.
out of the way as the man attempts to slap you across the face.
Why?
Wow. All right, not very friendly about Vered apparently. Interesting. All right, not a big fan of Vered. This guy.
No, it appears not.
Strange. So you gonna try again?
What DM? What is
He's
this
just staring
building?
daggers at you.
What is this building in the center?
You're not sure?
Not a big fan of Vered. I was hoping I
Curious
could
about
find out a little bit about. I'm gonna talk to Arazoth and Meredith and say I was hoping that I could maybe find Vered's parents, perhaps. We know his sister is here, so it stands to reason that his parents would be.
Okay,
Merchants
Colt,
are
you
travelers.
move over to the front of the
But not-
building.
Yes.
Now what?
Actually, I'd like to ask this person who's next to it.
After
this place
Colt,
is.
I guess.
Hello, kind sir. What is this building? Or what is it used for?
This is the mayor's office.
It's the mayor's office.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for telling me. Could talk to the mayor. Found the mayor's office.
Maybe that'll be helpful.
Maybe.
Though I don't know if talking them will do much.
What happened?
We can get info from them.
Something happened.
No, people just haven't been exactly receptive to our speaking recently.
That's fair. A costume, Meredith.
Yes.
I found out what this building is that we're next to. Apparently, this is the mayor's office.
Yes, I heard you.
We might be able
What does a mayor? What does the mayor do?
Well,
He mayors.
Well, in most
Normally-
towns, he mayors.
yeah.
Though in this,
He doesn't. I have heard no mention of the mayor the entire time we've been here.
neither have I.
We haven't been here very long, though.
Is the
Talk
mayor
to a
even
small
alive?
handful of people.
Does the mayor exist?
Go check.
What even is a mayor?
How would we know?
A miserable pile of secrets.
I don't know, let's go talk to the mayor.
We've
I'm gonna head to
we-
the office.
yeah,
The
we-
mayor is a female
everybody-
horse.
everyone's
I
talking
wanna-
about
Meredith happens to have one of
but
them.
No one's talked about the mayor at all.
I want to head into the
Find
mayor's
that
office.
strange.
Door's locked.
I bet you the mayor's at church.
I bet you the
Excuse me.
mayor's in.
Yes.
Where is the mayor?
I bet you the mayor's on the altar.
The mayor was a traitor
Ah,
to our
so he is.
people. He was a lost lamb who we returned to the flock of the end.
So he is on the altar.
Ah, I see. Well, I guess he did deserve it, didn't he? Well,
Roll a
thank you for
diplomacy
telling me.
check.
I need to roll a diplomacy for agreeing with him?
Get it.
Okay. Okay. Guys, check this out.
Let's go, let's go,
Oh
let's
yeah,
go.
it's
Come on,
great.
Cole,
I'm
baby.
Yeah,
Ah!
let's go single
Nice
digits today,
7.
baby. We not rolling doubles.
The man looks at you,
The fuck
tilts
is
his
the
head
diplomacy
slightly
check?
quizzically and goes, "He was neither deserving nor undeserving. He simply was."
Well, I suppose as long as he ends up in the right place. Thank you for your time, and Colt's gonna walk away.
May the
gonna
blessings of
walk up- have
eternal
I-
silence fall upon you.
Have I talked to this lady, or has she just kind of steered me down? As
I don't know.
walked past
Have
her
you
several
talked to
times?
this lady? Have you?
I
Everyone's
don't recall. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna walk up to her and say, "Hello. I was wondering if I might inquire after Alina. I was told that she lived here, but when I went and visited the church, she was there. I was hoping that I could. I'm here on behalf of her brother.
Roll a
I was hoping that
diplomacy
I could
check.
speak to her." Okay, great. Does everyone in this town just hate her brother? As soon as I mention her brother, I always have to roll diplomacy checks. That's marginally better than the first one.
You instinctively move out of the way of another slap.
Yo.
Everyone hates Vered, bro. Everybody hates Chris. Okay.
It's probably because
Did I even bring
Vered's
up his
not
name
down
this
with the
time?
sickness.
Did I even bring his name up this time, or did I just say Alina's brother?
You said Alina's brother.
Okay. All right. Okay. That's interesting. So everyone in this town hates Vered. I've decided. Well, at least 2 of them. In my admittedly small sample size, 100% of the people that I've mentioned him to have attempted to assault me. So he's not very well liked. in this,
Excuse me. Did you say the name Vered?
I did. Why does everyone seem to hate him so much?
You dodge another slap.
Okay, I'm gonna catch his
Bro.
arm this time. I'm gonna catch his arm and say, this is the 3rd time that one of you has attempted to assault me for merely mentioning his name.
Colt Irons is going to try to kind of like intervene between them and say, hey guys, wait a minute. Costu, come here, there's something I want to show you.
Okay.
Can't cause a ruckus here. At this point, I think we should get out while
We
can.
could.
We could.
We could cause a ruckus. Right?
We could.
I think it's gonna
We're
help
not-
our case, though.
We're not going to risk the lives of these townspeople.
Yeah. I don't feel like it'll do anything, especially.
They are technically innocent.
I think we should head to house. Unless
Okay.
there's more people you guys want to talk to.
I was hoping to talk to Alina's parents, but that doesn't seem like it's going to happen.
Alina's from a merchant's family and they tend to travel. I highly doubt they live here.
Okay.
Come on. We'll get to
Alright,
the
well.
bottom of this. Don't worry. We're gonna come back for him.
Alright,
Alright.
Rico and
Ha!
Talia. See you in a month. Try not to die.
At least for one of us, homeward bound.
Okay, you guys head off toward house, which means I can finally turn off the creeper music.
Yay, no more creepy music.
Are Vico and Thalia going to get to make any saving throws while we're away? Guess we'll find out.
You
later.
arrive in the town of House at the gates.
Yay!
There's a lot of
About
houses
a
in house.
day has passed, as far as you're aware.
Ooh, joy. That's very good for them. I'm sure that nothing but
Sweet.
nothing but good things have happened in that time. That lady looks like she's holding a bow. That's ominous.
I'm going to approach the gates. Are they open?
They are.
Okay, sweet.
I'm gonna
Hey, you're
walk.
gonna get your
Finally
bird
home.
back. Let's go.
Finally home.
This is where you live.
Yes.
It's nice. Very quaint. Nice, peaceful place to live.
Quite
Yes.
And
cozy.
we're a nice place.
Ah,
Does anyone greet
Like
Meredith
Lily's-
as she comes in?
A few people just, they kind of let you through without any hassle.
Cool.
Oh, I mean,
cool.
people in the last town did that, but they were still very hostile.
People here are
I
at
know
least
those faces.
Tree, you should
Yeah,
have
one of them.
control now.
Aha. There we go. Well, gosh darn it.
Lily.
It took y'all long enough to get here.
Long enough.
It's been 10 days.
I've
What?
been sitting here twiddling my thumbs for a week.
Wait, we were in the town for an entire day. I thought it was only a couple hours. Dang.
More.
clearly time dilation.
Yeah,
It
the
didn't
place
work
that
as we
we went,
expected.
time didn't exactly work the same as it does here. So you've experienced a long time, and we've experienced not very much time.
Time? You saying time's all funny?
Yes.
Wait, where's Where's-
Yeah.
where's
You notice that
that?
there's a man wearing a suit with sunglasses next to Lily.
Vico, but he cut his hair and is wearing sunglasses.
Hey, wait. But time
Yes,
flows
time is-
faster. Wait, but time flows faster outside of the area.
Clearly, things don't always
No,
work the
it
same
goes
way.
slower outside of the area.
Either way, we should only spend a day here at most.
But Meredith was outside the area for 2 minutes, and it felt like 20 to us.
Correct. The time flows
So it
faster
flows-
inside the area.
No, it goes. Well, yeah, it goes.
10
faster,
minutes
but that
pass for 1 minute, so it goes faster
Yeah,
there than
but
it does out
We
here.
we wouldn't have been gone for a week if it's only a day's travel.
Oh, true. You're right.
They'd experience the people in the town would experience 10 days, while we
Oh,
would
yes.
only experience.
Uh-oh.
Look,
so we don't
look,
actually
I'm not the
understand
smartest
how the
person
difference
alive,
works.
but even I know the math doesn't exactly add up. I think it's best that we just
Hmm.
stick to the plan, spend a day here, find as much help as we
Yeah.
can, and then head out. Speaking of which,
Lily,
Okay,
are
Lily,
these the
let's report to
adventurers you
Lily.
spoke of?
Well, I do believe so, although they seem to be lied a few people. Thalia, you could come out now. I know you probably skulking about somewhere. And what was
She
that
won't
other
be-
feller's
She won't
name?
be coming.
Thalia and Vico were taken hostage.
They will not be
Hey,
joining
what?
us.
They were sadly taken
Hostage might be a little bit of a strong term.
We
No, hostage is a fairly strong word. Or you could actually
charmed,
consider it
Yeah, as
brainwashed.
if they were
hostage
bound or something.
nonetheless.
Lily's only kind of half listening right now, and what she is doing is she's checking her bag specifically. She's checking her rifle and her powder horn, and is on the verge of immediately marching out of the gate. And
As soon
then
as you
and
start
then
taking off, you watch
Lily.
as the BSA agent sort of grabs you by the scruff of your neck, pulling you
But
back, and goes,
I'm gonna
"We
do the
need
exact
more
same thing.
information."
listen
Yes. and-
listen
Yeah, I
here.
would say
Lily,
we rushed in and we
listen to
got
me right now.
cooked.
I know exactly how you must feel. I felt the exact same. Well, for me, I suppose it was only 2 or 3 days ago. For you, I guess it was more like 10.
But
Believe me, I know what it feels like. We will rescue them. We need to find help. We can't do it on our own. Even with the 6 of us, it would be a hopeless cause.
I'm
So
sorry, the
we're going.
6 of us, we haven't even been introduced yet, and you're already asking for my help.
that's pretty bold. But
We're
uh,
asking for everyone's help.
I I suppose I should introduce you. This
Yes.
here is Mr. Gray. He's with the BSA.
That is
Uh,
correct.
I tried.
What is the BSA?
That's classified.
Of course
It-
it is.
Your own acronym is classified.
That's classified.
Oh, look, it's the manifestation of
All right.
bureaucratic red tape, my absolute favorite.
And that was a joke. It's the Bureau
your
of
name
Special Affairs.
classified?
How did you forget? Yes.
Bureau of Special Affairs. I can't say that I've ever run across this whole
Then
time
consider yourself
thing.
lucky, kid.
I
Well-
do consider myself very lucky to never have encountered something like this before.
They generally
I
don't get
didn't know how
involved
lucky I was.
for just anything.
Yeah.
This whole business with the cult and regional influence, it seems a little bit bigger than something one group of adventurers might be able to handle.
And if the BSA is involved, that usually means anyone else around. He takes off his sunglasses dramatically. Is gonna have a bad time. And then you hear like
That's
a
his-
screeching eagle in the background as he puts the sunglasses back on.
It's probably one of mine. Don't
Oh,
worry
believe
about it.
me, we did have a bad time. We went there and had a very bad time.
He takes off his sunglasses again as he says, "Ah, what a timeless conclusion." The eagle screeches
In,
again.
in
Well,
any case,
anyway,
All right, well let's catch up with Lily with what actually did in fact happen.
you guys do that. I'm going to visit home. I'll be right. I'll be
Okay,
back. I'll be back
sounds good.
soon.
All right, Colt, Arzoth, would you like to explain to Lily what happened? Maybe Arzoth would do it best. You know Lily quite well.
Hey,
We,
DM, where's my house?
We went to
Boy.
I'm sorry. What was the name of that
Ravath.
Ravath?
Raven.
We went to Ravath, and when we arrived, everybody was definitely not good. Everybody was very depressing. It was a very sad sight. It was horrible. We finally got to the church, and there was a lady there named Lyrio, and she was very sweet, very nice. But she charmed our Vigo and Thalia,
She mind controlled
and
them. She mind
yeah,
controlled them.
now they're part of her weird, awful death cult.
I feel like we should have some more investigatory music for this discussion, so allow me to
Someone
Maybe
put
we
on the
should-
Sherlock Holmes theme.
Hey,
oh,
I don't know about all you guys, but maybe we should take this to an area where we're not standing in the middle of a town.
it is true. Y'all jawing about, and you have made quite the trip here. You should probably go somewhere where you can cool your heels. As Mr. Gray says, public square isn't the best place to be discussing classified information, I think is how he puts it. He looks at him kind of expectantly.
He looks over to you and says, "That kind of information is classified and should be discussed in a more private area."
Precisely. So
Where
if
would
you'll
we like us to go then?
Your friend mentioned having a home. Let's follow her.
Yes,
But
that sounds
I know.
perfect.
where's
Okay.
where
I know he's
I'm
very used to following people.
I reckon we can secure a local residence. That might be better than an inn or a. Hey, come on now.
Hey,
Everybody
Meredith,
just
we're
walking
coming into
away.
your house.
She does run an inn. Well, she used to run an inn. So it is her
Oh.
house is the inn.
Hey, Mom.
Jump scare. Wait, quick, which one is DM, which one is this?
Pick your favorite.
We'll say Tristan.
Whoever your
Hey,
favorite
Tristan.
kid is.
I'm home.
Oh, it's good to see you. You don't usually come back so much anymore. How's adventuring?
Well, truth be told, it used to be going fairly well, and now it's a bit of a rough patch.
It's going poorly.
In truth, I'm almost going to be spending a day here before I have to go back. There's some people I need to rescue.
Well, you know the drill. Our house is your house, and all your friends, as per usual.
Mhm.
Oh, we did get your letter about the eagle. We were gonna send one off, but he came back in the time that it. They said you weren't there, so I guess you can just take one from the roost here. That's fine.
All right then. Let's see.
Anyway, pleasure to meet all of y'all. I'm Tristan.
Howdy.
This is my son. Well,
good to meet you,
My-
Tristan.
well,
How's it
shit.
going?
Good to meet you,
Cold
Tristan.
Irons
I
is
wish it
gonna-
would have been under better circumstances.
Colt Irons is gonna offer Tristan a handshake.
Tristan gladly shakes your hand. Then he turns to Mr. Gray and offers the same. And Mr. Gray, you watch as he pulls out a single like plastic glove from his pocket, puts it onto his hand, and then shakes his hand.
God damn.
Dang, Mr. Gray, you don't like touching people?
Well, anyway, the place is yours. Go right in. Make yourselves comfy.
Well, la-di-da. That
I'll
was
get some-
easier than I thought.
I'll get someplace prepared for you.
Colt Irons is gonna walk
I
into
mean,
the
We're
building.
among friends now, unlike where we just were.
Hmm.
You're among company.
Among family. Well, for me at least.
Well, at the very least, I don't think that anybody here is going to try and convert you to some strange apocalypse religion or any of that.
I wouldn't be so sure. That's probably what we thought about Fox Hill too, and yet
Well,
So everybody gets inside the house, gets comfy,
mhm.
begins prepping plates, I guess Meredith does.
Yes.
And then an eagle comes flying onto her arm. And then Mr. Gray goes, so that was the one who was playing into my joke.
Shit,
How
I don't
patriotic.
have
all
Mr. Gray,
Um,
whereabouts are you from?
That's classified.
I don't quite recognize your accent.
That's classified.
Of
Okay.
course.
All
it
right. Well,
is.
let's not ask him about who he is or what he's. What are you here to do, and how can we help you?
I am here to understand the situation in Revath better, and then I am going to make further decisions based on what I hear. You can help
Yes.
me
Okay.
by giving me all the intel that you have.
All right. Okay. Who wants to start?
Okay, well, Mr. Gray, what do you know about isn't the god's name Groidus?
Yes.
Yes. What do you know about the cult of Groidus?
Article 26J. We know a handful of things.
Well, the town of Revath
Would you care to
is-
share, or
No
is it
more than is
classified again?
necessary.
the town of Revath is under the influence of the cult of Groidus, specifically spearheaded by what was her name? I forgot.
Lyriel.
The nymph of...
Lyriel, the nymph. Yes.
Lyriel.
You're telling
I
me
don't
the
like-
nymph of the withered spring has somehow become the commander of this cult of the end times?
That
This
sounds
town
mighty
is-
bad.
That is how it seems.
I'm unsure if they are the highest upper, but they are at least responsible for what's going on in the town locally.
You say that as if you're sure, but I'm not necessarily convinced.
Well,
She is involved. Whether she's responsible for what's happening in the town, that's unclear.
Well, it's pretty sure that anything you say is a little bit of guesswork, you know. But it's not like you could sit down with her and have a chat. If you did, I fear things would be a lot more dire.
Oh, I
so-
did. I'm lucky that I managed to make it back.
Oh, yes, lucky.
Vico and Thalia were not so lucky.
Yes, I'm really curious about that part. How you
We'll
ended
get
up
there.
leaving people behind. But
You notice that
Oh,
Lily
we
is
will
like
get there.
gripping her gun aggressively as she says this. Like
We
she's
will
got
get
a
to that, don't
scratch on
worry.
it.
look, we had to leave because even if we were able to try and get them, we would have to not only fight off this nymph, but the rest of the town too.
Think about. Okay, Lily, I will explain it. I'll explain it to you. I'm certain you've heard of the apathy that the citizens of Revhath have been rumored to be under.
Apathy this, apathy that. What I know is nymph or no nymph, a few bullets tend to calm down just about anything.
We're not
And,
shooting those townspeople.
All right.
I'm not talking about the townsfolk. I'm just saying, what if Colt and I just kind of rode up and gave her a couple shots between the eyes? I reckon then she wouldn't be able to be doing much preaching and kidnapping.
Because I imagine she would have her loyal subjects throw themselves in front of the bullet before you could get even in a mile within her. You see, I believe that this apathy is no mere apathy. It's the nymph's charm effect. When she laid her hands on Vico and Thalia, they seemed to fall on it.
Oh well,
They
that
are,
does.
A charm
they are
effect,
her
huh?
unwilling.
Hmm.
They are her unwilling servants now.
Hold a
I would
moment.
As I
Really
imagine are
not
the rest of the
unwilling.
townsfolk.
Hold a
I came
moment.
here
I'm going
because-
to consult something, and he watches the agent pulls out a some sort of notebook from his pocket, and he begins looking through it quickly. I see. Ah, here it is. Article A31. Charm. Makes
it?
a humanoid creature regard you as a trusted friend and ally. If the creature is currently being threatened or attacked by you or your allies, it tends to have a greater chance of disbelieving this effect. You can try to give the subject orders, but they won't be convinced to do anything that they ordinarily wouldn't do. Well, that could be concerning. Usually, this effect is said to not last for such a long period of time, though.
I agree.
What-
I've heard as much the same. I know that the tales of the nymph of the withered spring are not just central to Revhath, but also have taken root here as well. I hope to spend as much of the next day as I can, finding as much as I can about these old stories, see if they mention this charm effect, perhaps any way of breaking subjects out of it. I imagine it's something specific to this nymph and not the general kind of charm that you are familiar with, Mr. Gray.
Most likely.
But that is just idle speculation.
So why the BSA sound like a big important group? Why have they deigned to send you?
To investigate this ordeal. We were tipped off by an informant of the situation. We were asked to come.
Okay, anyways, let's go on with our
Understand.
story. So we walked into town and we tried to talk to a few people, but no one in the town is really willing to talk to us, from what I can tell. They tried to assault me a number of times upon the mention of a certain man by the name of Vared.
I can understand why they would
who
try to insult you.
I said assault, but
Oh, both would work, yes.
why do you think that they would try attempt to assault me?
I mean,
Well, to put it bluntly, sir, you're kinda ugly.
oh, now don't go
All
saying
right,
that.
that was a very personal attack and seemed unnecessary.
Mr. Gray, you seem very unprofessional.
I think, on the contrary, y'all did ask for information and his reasoning.
All right, all right. I very few people assault me just because I'm not very attractive.
That surprises me. I fear that many of them would mistake you for a bugbear.
Now, hold on now. That's a
All
little
right.
bit too
Nice.
far.
Are you sure this person
You watch
is
as Mr.
representing the
Gray.
BSA?
You watch as Mr. Gray turns to you and whispers in your ear, Lily, and he says,
Are the jokes not landing? Is this... I'm told that I have a bit too much of a straight face. I'm trying to lighten the mood with... Is this not working?
Goodness.
I think maybe we leave the comedy to the bards, sir.
I'm just trying to, like, I understand the suit and the glasses, it can be a little much, so I'm just trying to make...
Can I hear this?
yeah, like, I feel like everyone can hear it. He's just
Absolutely.
trying to be
I
subtle,
can hear
but it's
this.
so bad.
Listen,
Okay. Well, anyways.
Mr.
Okay, so
Gray,
we
I'm
tried
gonna-
to talk to them. That was pretty much
Making a
Everyone
total
was like,
what
"Go
of
talk to the High
myself?"
Priestess, go talk to the High Priestess.
so
So
you
basically,
talk.
everyone said, "Go talk to the High Priestess." So we go and we talk to the High Priestess, and three of us
Alrighty.
went up and actually talked to her, and three of us didn't.
Mm.
I'm sure you can guess which three talked to her and which three didn't.
I
I'm
Well,
spoke
sure.
you can guess
but
two of the
she-
three who talked to her.
She didn't touch me, but I spoke to her.
Yes.
Well, you said something about Thalia did something trying to go undercover as one of the members of the cult or something.
Oh,
That
three of
sa-
us did.
That
Myself,
sounds
Thalia, and Vico.
well. That sounds kind of risky.
It was.
Well,
But she's the one most
was
suited
risky.
to take this risk. I advised her against it, but she was adamant. In any case, she was among them before, so I imagine she'll know her way around.
Hmm. From what little I gathered, she didn't enjoy her last adventures with the Church of Groidus very much, at least. But
When you see the town, I think you'll understand why.
They called her a heretic. I imagine that has something to do with it.
well, damn right, she's a heretic. She's not about to just let the world end.
Okay, well, basically that's a summary of what happened. We've tried to find out more information about the High Priestess, but people aren't particularly open to talking about that. Or about Vared, or Alina, or her family.
Well, it seems like if this is just a right mess. But I think it's safe to say that the situation in this town, this Lyrial lady seems mighty threatening.
That is certainly an understatement.
I'll definitely be telling the sheriff when next we meet that there's a little bit of an issue, to put it mildly.
Are
If
there
this
other
time dilation works as you says it does, we might want to make
Well,
haste in whatever decisions we make.
there's some
Yes.
question mark. There's some large question marks next to that, though. I stepped foot outside the town for 2 minutes or so as an experiment, to gauge the effect of how long the time dilation was. Well, 2 minutes passed outside the town for me. 20 minutes passed inside.
And you're certain of that?
I'm certain. However, I know the
Upon
nymph is some
arriving
sort
here,
of
we
fae,
discovered that we had been gone considerably longer than we expected as well.
yes, I know that time when speaking of fae nonsense is, well, more of a suggestion. There's no telling when we'll get back in terms of Revath time. Our original
Could get
idea
back
was
yesterday.
well, possibly. My original plan was
Hopefully
to
not.
leave Revath, spend a day here, look for help, find information on the nymph, and return the day after. Some sort of plan. If our
Well,
time dilation had been correct, then if our time dilation theory had been correct, that would have left Thalia and Vico under the nymph's authority for a month, which is depressingly long, but about as good as we were going to get. Now, well, there's no telling.
well, regardless, y'all did just spend a day traveling here. If we were to rush right back, you'd be in no state to do much of anything, except maybe marshal some wet noodles.
Indeed.
Yeah, we're not exactly at full strength. Oh,
Indeed.
speaking of which, Lily, you said you were being sent here along with some other of the town's gunslingers. Where are they?
Well, it would they were going to other places, checking things out. I just happened to volunteer to go to house the since y'all were gonna meet up here. It just seemed wise that you'd find a familiar face.
Good decision.
That's fair. Well, I hate to say it, we might have to round up some townsfolk who might be willing to fight with us or help us. We'll need all the help we can get.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll go over real well. Hey, folks, want to go risk your lives against a death cult for fun? You won't get paid very much, and
Hey
you'll
DM,
probably
does House
die.
Hey
They
DM,
wouldn't
does
get
House
paid
have
at
some
all.
sort of like militia or town guard?
Yeah, they have a town
Listen,
guard.
Okay.
sometimes understatement is the key to selling things. That's what the sheriff told me. You gotta practice a little bit of subtlety.
Hmm.
I think that one of the most convincing arguments we can make is that the issue at Ravath is unlikely to stay contained.
Well,
It's basically on their doorstep.
that's all well and good, but it's still a hypothetical from a bunch of strangers.
That just means that these people would be more likely to leave in fear than they would to engage in combat. Rather than trying to do this with brute force, perhaps we should try a more logical approach.
I feel the same.
What do you have
I
in
don't
mind,
feel
Mr.
particularly
Gray?
well about marshalling an army of Housians and setting into battle against, frankly, innocent civilians.
Well, not
Many lives
necessarily
would be lost.
fight all of them.
Well, frankly,
But
Well, how else do you expect we to get through
Mr.
with
Gray
all those
raises
people
a
in between
hand
us?
and says, "Hold." My suggestion is simple. We go speak to their leader. directly. Everyone.
Oh, yes. That worked out so well last time.
By my understanding,
Make sure
you
not to get
all
touched.
left this person and your friends alone with this lady. If we stick in a
Mhm.
group, we should be fine. She doesn't seem to at least wish anyone ill, because if, by the sound of things, she had wanted to kill you, she likely could have.
That is a mite peculiar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm,
She seemed
I
quite
don't
interested
I don't
in.
think she wants to kill us yet.
She wants to convert us, and if not, well, the mayor seemed not to convert, and if I had to guess, he was left at the altar in several pieces, so.
They did get
That
the
would
mayor.
also be my guess.
That means that this cult is 2 for 2 on killing mayors, albeit kind of indirectly.
Well, one
And
mayor at least deserved it.
Meredith, do you happen to have any soup? I like to eat soup before a big battle. Of
I
wits.
can make some. I'd have no intention of eating any myself, though I can make it.
I think
Not big on soup, Meredith.
Thalia told me a little
It's
bit
a
of a
long
story, and I think it would be wise if I abstained from soup in the near future.
What does
Well, I can
everyone
trust
have
you with.
against this soup?
I can
Uh,
trust you
If
that mine is
Meredith
just
makes the soup,
fine.
I am fine with eating it.
I love soup.
I'll get right on it.
Everybody looks at Arthur.
Yeah, like Lily gives him a massive side eye.
Soup is great when it doesn't have human remains in it.
You
Why
sure
hold
you're
up. Hold on. Cold, was it? That is a big stretch for soup.
Not
no,
if you're a
Not
certain
for
mayor,
some.
Skern.
actually the
Mr. Gray
mayor
just
of
looks horribly confused behind his sunglasses.
well, you see, the mayor of Fox Hill was actually one of these Groidus cultists, although a little more killingy inclined than whatever this Lyrial lady's doing. And his whole thing was taking his victims and turning them into soup as an act of strange religious devotion, and then passing it off as a wholesome town ceremony. I always wondered about that when he said it was an old tradition, because none of us, we didn't know of any such tradition before he came here, but he seemed to know what he was talking about. Goes to show what happens when you just blindly follow people, I guess.
It
Mr.
was a
Gray turns
shamefully
to you,
delicious
Meredith.
soup.
Mr. Gray turns to you, Meredith, and he says, "Perhaps it would be best if we had stew instead."
Yes, I'll get right on it. It's the same thing, essentially, but I don't care. I'm gonna make something. This is my house.
Chunkier.
Tristan walks in the door for a second and says, "Hey, Ma, I'm heading off to I'm heading off to a liminal space with my friends. We're gonna go eat lots of soup in a liminal space. Is that okay with you?
Make sure you check what's in the soup first.
I've heard that it's gonna be like a chicken broth."
I think,
It should be
well, that
fine. Have fun.
make sure you see the chicken.
Oh,
Doesn't
trust
You
me,
Xander
nothing
sound
like that
like
would
in his
happen here.
Tristan looks at
30s?
Lily and is like,
What?
"Why would I want to see the chicken? That's just kind of cruel. Watch an animal as it goes into the that's I don't know
list.
where that came from.
Don't
I
mind her,
just
Kristen.
it's
It's
cool.
Don't
It's
worry.
cool. Just
try
Don't
kind
to
of
worry
an
about
enjoy
it.
yourself.
unnecessary cruelty toward animals, but that's fine.
Do I look like some kind of druid folk to you?
Hey, I take that personally.
Oh,
Alright,
oh,
Meredith, so your kid's still
that
asking permission to
explains
go
the
do things?
eagle thing.
Well, yes.
Alright, anyways. Okay,
What
so
was your
we're gonna
question?
try to find out about this nymph lady, right? That's the goal, is to try to find out if anyone's ever been charmed by her before and has escaped it. Is that my
Or some
understanding?
sort of stories of that exist. Who was asking about my children?
That was also me.
What was your question?
They still come check up with you before they go do things? Aren't they like in their 30s?
Well, I suppose they just missed me is all. I've been gone a while.
Mr. Gray
Mm.
looks to all of you and says,
Must be nice having parents.
Regardless, the main thing we need to keep in mind here is we need to open some sort of dialogue. If we can resolve this in some sort of way, get the town out of this lady's grasp for something in exchange, it might be worth considering.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Now, Lily, I
Negotiate.
recommend you stay here.
You what now?
Negotiating terrorism.
Absolutely
Oh,
not,
yeah,
sir.
yeah.
With all due respect, I can't see myself doing that in good conscience.
Are you
We
sure?
always negotiate
These
with terrorists,
people,
right?
they've seen whatever this is already, and I should go with them as a BSA agent, but you have no knowledge of what to expect in there, not really.
Oh, well, you see, Thalia was kinda telling me what was going on with all that, just a little bit, and I don't feel comfortable, knowing that I was sitting idly by while she's doing who knows what. For all I know, she's back on the circuit again, giving weird apocalypse speeches, and if anything, I don't know.
Is that not
I feel
normal
like
for
we
your
should put a
friend?
stop to that.
Mr. Gray, if I may.
Yes, you may.
Well, first of all, I got a 16 on soup cooking, so dig in. Sorry,
Damn,
stew
this is
cooking.
delicious stew. Nothing dubious about it.
Absolutely nothing dubious about it. In any case, I would ask that you allow Lily to come with us. Judging by the situation, I think things could go from bad to worse fairly quickly. And it helped, and well, about too many people would be something of a hindrance. Just Lily and you should be plenty.
Well, after all, your primary concerns seemed to be that you were outgunned. One more gun means you're a little bit less outgunned, you know,
Exactly.
which lowers the chances of everyone dying horribly.
Who knows? Maybe you showing up will snap Thalia out of it. One can hope.
Oh, don't be silly. And she kind of plays it off immediately, trying to deflect, like very visibly. I'm just saying, it would be,
Lily,
two
do you
guns are
have
better than one.
feelings for this Thalia?
I do believe that's classified information, sir.
Yes,
Yeah,
very
take quite
classified.
the
Very
shine,
classified.
Lily.
You watch as Mr. Gray pulls out his notebook again and then pulls out a pen, writes something down, and you hear a murmur, very classified.
Not just classified, but very classified.
Super classified. Big letters.
I've added that to the
Top
record.
secret classified.
Well then, if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and prepare. Mr. Gray
Very well.
stands up, does a sort of salute to all of you, then marches out the door.
Oh, Mr. Gray, your room's upstairs, 2 doors on the left.
He looks back to you, nods, and says, "That's all right. I brought my own." He then leaves, and you don't know what he meant. You do not know what he meant by that.
All right.
It's called a tent, bitch.
Well,
Well,
la-dee-da.
Well, whatever.
These-
More space for customers. Paying customers.
He disappears into the ether.
Speaking of paying customers, I wouldn't feel comfortable abusing your hospitality.
Well, then there's nothing to abuse. I offer it freely. After all, it would not be hospitality if it were not offered such.
Just what's the going rate?
The going rate for you is 0 gold pieces a night.
Well, if you insist.
I do insist. Just rest here. You'll certainly need it in the coming days.
I'm going to bed.
Okay.
You're far too kind of a soul, Meredith.
Meredith, give change for a copper.
Yes, you can keep the copper. That will be all the change necessary.
All right, thank you. Cold Irons is gonna go to sleep.
For you,
Alright.
free of charge. For the rest of the party, 5 gold apiece.
Sounds about right. I was waiting for it, honestly.
I would
I
do that.
believe it.
Meredith would not.
How late is it actually? Do we want to go try to find out about the nymph tonight, or is it too late now?
It's
I,
like
I, I plan on
probably
doing.
9-10 p.m. by now.
Okay, sleepy time.
Oh, hey Meredith,
Hmm?
can I have my pocket watch back?
Oh yes, of course. Here you go.
All right, thank you. Cold Irons checks his pocket watch.
It's like 9 or 10ish.
So the
I'm looking at
time
the
is still
watch.
correct, but the date is not.
But I'm looking at the watch. What time?
Correct. Oh, it's 1 day ahead of when you entered the town.
But I'm looking at the pocket watch. Like, what does it say?
It says 9 or 10ish.
I'm looking at a timepiece that tells me the exact.
9:41.
And it's telling you 9 or 10ish.
Great.
You just see words when
time.
you open the pocket watch
Your
that
watch
say
is broken.
Oh no, it's a digital watch.
Oh, cursed.
and it doesn't even give exact time, it just gives vague concepts.
God, that'd be awful.
Oh, the horror.
Time is a vague concept. All right, well, Custy's going to bed.
Yeah, never ask me for exact times, and I tell you it's around a time, it's around a time.
But I've got a pocket watch.
I don't give a shit about your pocket watch!
You know
I
exactly
hold the
what time
power
it is.
here! I am your god! Kneel before Christ!
Damn.
Anyway, so yeah, 941's
DM really
probably...
took watches out of his game.
941's probably...
She really is the Time Lord, one might say.
But
So yeah, like 941 probably, or...
that was a good time.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty accurate. Anyway, we all going to bed, or?
Yes, I'm going to bed in my own
Yeah.
bed. Ah.
You beat them.
Lily says she's gonna turn in.
That's the sleeping music.
Wow.
That's very epic.
Intense sleep.
Yeah, you're getting
Now,
your REM
in
sleep.
sleep, not intense sleep.
You're
We're-
right.
We actually have a roof.
In-house sleep.
Mr.
Oh my
Gray would be
God,
proud of
that's
that.
No.
fun.
In-house. Remember, guys, today this is your
In-house,
house and home.
in sleep, not
House
in-house
squared.
intent sleep.
In-house, because it's an inn and it's house.
In the middle of the street, our
Oh
house.
no.
Oh yeah.
The house in.
Anyway, you all sleep with these, except Lily, who pretends to sleep.
And well, she does eventually sleep, but she spends a great deal of time cleaning her gun, pacing, checking things,
Tossing
double
and
checking
turning,
things.
questioning her status on whether or not she's a girlfriend of Dahlia, or like what's going on there. But then also thinking about like, I can ask her that when I save her.
Yeah.
And then morning comes. You all wake up to the start of a fresh day. And the knowledge that an indeterminable amount of time has passed. At least for Revath.
I shall wake up bright and early, feeling very refreshed for once, and busy myself with making breakfast for the party.
I will also rise somewhat early, having gone to bed probably first of anyone. Going to sharpen my sword. I get the feeling. Well, maybe, yeah, I'll sharpen my sword. I get the feeling I'll be using it in the near future. Probably not today, but very soon.
Cold Irons is gonna head downstairs and wait for food to be made.
Once
Yeah.
I'm done, once I'm done with sharpening my sword, I will help Meredith in any way that I can.
Oh, please, just sit down. I have everything taken care of.
Okay,
just
I start polishing
I
armor.
just want to watch the process of Meredith cooking and
She
like
knows what
enjoy the smells of good food.
she clearly knows what she's doing.
Well, all right, everybody, we're ready to go.
No, of course not. You haven't even eaten yet.
Uh, well, that's what trail rations are. Oh, is that what you cooking?
Eggs and bacon.
A classic.
That reminds me,
Save the trail
we
rations
pretty much
for the
wiped out
trail.
our trail. We pretty much wiped out our trail rations. Where should we buy
We
those here
did.
before we leave?
We do need to resupply before we head out.
I can
Costume's
prepare a little.
exactly right.
I can prepare a little something from the inn stores.
Okay, thank you.
As for everything, but there should be places in the town where you can purchase some additional ones if that should be necessary.
Yeah, that'd be good. While we're trying to find out about the nymph, maybe we can grab a couple supplies. Mainly
Really
because
only need like
I'm-
what, a couple days? You need enough to get there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have a week, just because I don't know what's going to happen.
Okay.
Wish I could afford a week.
Didn't we just get a bunch of money?
When dude crafts things, it costs him money, and he's been bad at crafting things.
Mm-hmm.
Cold Times has been hemorrhaging coin this entire campaign.
He's been bleeding money.
I keep bleeding, I keep bleeding coin. Anyway, you guys heading out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we
I'll
wanna
take 10
talk
on
to
that
anybody
cooking
about-
check.
Do we want to talk to anybody about the nymph before we leave, or not?
Is
Yes.
there-
Dungeon Master, is there someone here in house who would know more about old stories and things of the like, things related to the nymph of the withered spring?
You would be that person.
Very
Oh.
knowledgeable, Meredith. Very knowledgeable.
God damn it. I guess I am the local druid. Okay. I already made that check. What do I know? That is something important to ask before I go about trying to figure out more.
Nymph of the Withered Springs, name's Lyriel, supposedly seen on occasion. Beauteous, lived in the tree lands between House and Revath, along the shores of this great lake that separated the four towns, and did her best to keep the stream flowing. You know, it said that her beauty is what allowed the towns to keep getting their wonderful, bountiful supply of fresh water.
Are there any more specific stories?
Nope.
We could check out her former residence, or not.
The withered spring? That's just the lake.
Did she live somewhere along the lake, perhaps? Or did she just kind
Possibly.
of camp?
You
all the
guys
Or
time?
in
wouldn't
the
know
lake.
because she is a nymph. You wouldn't know. She kind of was specifically a legend for a reason. It's because people did not have the easiest time finding her or seeing her.
How large is the withered spring?
Well, the reason going from Rev Up the house took a day is because we needed to go around the withered spring. It's not a spring, it's a lake.
Okay. Well, could we look and see if we see her what could be potentially her residence as we go back that way?
Well, good
I
fucking
don't want
luck
to
finding
delay
it,
because
but
obviously every 2 hours we spend out here is probably a day there. So
I've given
What
up
if
on
we-
figuring out time dilation.
What if we went across the lake? That might save us a bit of time.
That's an idea.
I think
Maybe.
I think it would be better to make sure that we don't rush our approach, seeing as the last time y'all rushed into this business, some bad things happened. Perhaps, we move
fair
with
enough.
haste,
All right.
but carefully all the same.
That seems good. I'm gonna go. Where should I go to pick up some more supplies?
I direct you to the location, not knowing out of character where it is.
Sure.
You
So
direct
did
him
you
to a
did you also
general store.
prepare us some supplies as well, Meredith, or
I can get
not?
something prepared. Not a ton, but
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go buy. I don't know, 5 days of trail rations.
Yeah,
for
I
each of
wanna
us,
I
Somewhere.
wanna do the same.
or just for yourself.
I was just gonna buy them for myself, but I
All right.
can buy them for
You
everyone if people
both
want.
buy 5 days of trail rations.
How much money is that?
I don't know because I
2.5
didn't think I was
gold.
gonna have to look it up.
Google it.
It's just-
2.5
All right,
gold.
I'll find it. 2.5 gold. Okay, great, amazing. 5 days of trail rations, incredible.
2.5 gold in this economy?
Adventuring's expensive, bro.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right, well, I still have a fair amount of gold. Not a ton, but that's fine. I'll be fine. All right, good enough. I have sufficient food to get myself through 5 days, and if Meredith gives me a little bit more, then I'll have some more as well. It should be nice. Can we bring some fresh fruit this time? I'm still curious to try out my theory.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
bring fresh fruit.
that is a
We
good
could,
idea.
we could bring some
Yeah.
fresh fruit.
Great call.
Okay. How much fresh fruit should I put down?
1? I don't know.
One.
How many are you buying?
I have
I'm
a.
not.
We could just say I have a tree. You have an apple. Have fun.
Okay. I will have three
Baller.
fresh apples because I would like to have more food, not less. All right, I have 3 fresh apples. Very cool.
So are we good?
I'm good. Where's Mr. Gray?
He left. You all were taking so long.
Good luck. Yep, pretty much.
He left for Revath without us?
Yes.
Yeah.
Last night or this morning?
Last night, assumedly.
Oh, all right, well, I guess we're headed out then. Guess we'll meet him there, because
Well, he did. He seemed like an efficient sort, but also a somewhat cautious one. I doubt he'll be charging into things. Especially since we warned him about the nature of how this might stake out.
sure. All right. Cool. I guess let's head out.
All right, before we head
Okay.
out,
Yep.
Meredith is going to just lay some flowers on her husband's grave.
That's
Just,
fair.
you know,
Yep.
Very nice.
You lay a beautiful bed of, let's just say, daisies onto his grave.
I was going to say cornflowers, but go ahead, I guess.
Sure, cornflowers, whatever, man.
All right, Costa is left.
Dick.
Do
Anyway.
I get to add anything else to my inventory as far as food is concerned? Or is it just the trail rations?
Just the trail rations.
All right, okay, cool.
I have to sneeze.
All right, we are.
You
back.
arrive back at the town of Revath, but just outside of the town, you find 2 unexpected but familiar faces.
Oh my. Oh me, oh my.
One appears to be curled up by a fire, just sort of contemplatively staring into it with her knees up to her chest, and the other is sort of distantly watching and tending to it.
Who we got?
God, this
So
took
we're
us
not
so
in the
long.
town yet, but
No,
we're
you're right
on the map
outside.
of the town.
Okay.
Okay. Well, you seem to have been busy while we were away.
Busy while you were away, so long away.
We were
Seems
away
like
for
I found
How
her like
long
this
away?
outside
2
the
days.
town.
you. It's been almost a month. I didn't think you would come. I
Lily
didn't think anyone
yeah,
was.
we were afraid that you might think that, but
Lily comes over to you,
You did-
Thalia, and just tries to. She like looks like she's gonna put her hand on your shoulder, and then she hesitates, seeing how disheveled you look.
Talia just
time
kind of
has not been.
jumps a little bit, like with a start. Oh,
Not been normal
right.
and not been kind. You can see
You're
that
not her.
clearly.
She's always watching, just like the shadows are always watching. I tried to. Well, she looks around very nervously. Is there anyone here? Do you see anyone? Any of
I
the?
see.
Not any of the townsfolk.
Can I make a
Do we see
perception
any of the
check?
time?
I'm going to make a perception check, DM, giving myself guidance because 35. Because 35.
You do not perceive any townsfolk to be around.
Do I perceive anyone else to be around?
As far as you can tell, no. The fog is thick and heavy,
What about
and
other
the woods
life?
whisper, but
Likely to.
What do your elf ears hear?
What am I? That's rather racist, you know.
I was talking to Merida, but
Nothing but the wind. And a somewhat racial stereotyping human, but that's whatever.
you certainly
I
hear
suppose
better
I-
than me, do you not?
Yes, I suppose I fit the stereotype fairly well. Despite only being half elven.
This Mr. Gray fellow, I honestly don't trust you, but can he be vouched for? He's not with them, is he?
No, he's not.
We
I
met him
couldn't
in
tell her
house.
much.
He's not with Rava. He's not from Rava.
Okay,
It's not
Then
part
here-
of the cult.
then here's
From
what
the-
you need to know.
All right.
We have the situation is a great deal more dire than I initially anticipated. Aside from the fact that I was immediately recognized, somehow she and Skern both had connections with the cult down below. But
In the Underdark?
Surprising.
yeah, in the Darklands, yes.
Okay, did not know what they're called in this setting.
But
I'm not surprised. Is she causing the time difference? Go on.
well,
Finish. I'll
well,
touch it later.
I'm just surprised that they know this after 50 years. But regardless, forgive me, the whole situation. There's an artifact in the basement of the church. I had guards the whole time, but I was able to see some kind of mechanism with a crystal. I do believe it's the cause of our temporal shenanigan.
Makes sense. I didn't think that it was her. She's powerful, but time is generally
I
not.
think the
necessarily- not change so easily.
frankly, I think the biggest concern is that, well, she still has Vico, and I regret to inform you he has become quite the zealous convert.
Hmm.
I
Oh,
did
that is
That's not
unfortunate.
good.
I did what I could. I was in a haze very briefly, but he offered me some tea, and I was
He
able
did
to.
make it to you.
Thank goodness.
Someone is looking after us in a twisted way, I suppose. But regardless, I've been generously invited to continue preaching and educating the townsfolk. I've been doing the best that I can to get information from Lyriel, and she spits the name. But she doesn't seem intent on violence, but she does seem very intent on keeping people here. She told me I could leave at any time, but this is the up until about a few days ago, I wasn't able to leave town without an escort, and I had to do quite a bit of talking to convince them that I was just leaving to spread the good word of the end times. To think I almost actually was spreading the word of the end times. If things had gone a little differently, I might have actually been working for them.
Calm down. Calm down. Calm
Yeah,
down.
It's
I wanna
quite
walk
funny.
around.
Had you gone to house first, I think we would have been able to help you.
Well, if
It's
had
all good.
I only got out a day or two ago. But regardless, there's a crystal in the basement. She still has Vico, and he's very much part of the cult lifestyle, along with this, what's her name?
Alina.
Alina,
Yeah.
yes. For what it's worth, her brother appears to be persona non grata. I noticed anyone who dared to speak his name was struck immediately with the
Yes,
back of their hand.
I
Yes,
also
we noticed
noticed
much the
that.
A
same.
most peculiar practice, but very effective in its teaching, I suppose, in a barbaric sort of way. One appreciates the simplicity of it. Communication without the single word. Anyway, yes.
Do you know why?
Do you have any more questions? You'll have to excuse me. In my time as an honored guest of the cult, I wasn't. I was more fixated on trying to get Vico out and trying to stop them.
Makes sense.
And
I just
barring
wondered if you
that,
might have-
finding a way to burn this whole wretched village to the ground, but that wasn't
Hey.
exactly in our
I do-
contract.
I do have
So-
2 questions. I have, well,
I also
one
suggested
question.
that.
I do have 2. Well, not 2
Oh,
questions, but at
you-
least
you-
one question. And
You suggested burning down the village? I'm so proud of you, Costu, for taking the
I did
initiative.
suggest that.
And she beams uncharacteristically.
I also
I do
suggested
have-
flooding it.
Oh, well, that would be rather silly. The river isn't that effective, but
I do have a
I'm not-
question.
I'm not an engineer. Yes, ask
Go
away.
ahead,
I'm
Meredith.
sorry.
Do you know what's going on with the townspeople? Are they under the same spell that you and Vico were?
Well, even if they aren't, someone who is as compelling as Lady Lyriel, she has her lovely ways of influencing people, even without magic. She's quite a skilled orator, far better than I am, even. I would fear if we were to engage in a battle of wits with her, but it seems that unless you're planning to commit suicide in a blaze of glory, trying to take her out, which, you know, I would normally approve of the initiative, but it seems rather impractical.
So maybe we need to destroy the crystal then.
Well, that's assuming you can get into the basement. I reckon if you tried to explore the church, you'd end up new converts or, well, prisoners or dead.
What if we didn't? What if we didn't try to explore the church, but instead to explode the church?
Well, again, I approve of your initiative on that front, but
Dahlia,
yes,
can you get to the basement?
like I said, I can, but there's a bit of a problem. I don't have any proper tools, and I'm always being watched. I fear that if I were to try to obscure my movements using magic or just subterfuge, the townsfolk are not that perceptive, but they would certainly catch on. Also, you have to remember, the moment we step inside the city limits, I feel that it's critical I do my part to pretend to be a good little worshipper of Groidus. Lyriel still thinks she has a hold on me, and that's the only reason I was granted the little bit of freedom that I was, despite whatever she might have said.
I see. Well,
As much
Guess
as I
we
would
won't
like...
those appearances then.
Vico, he would have tools and is a part of a
Yes.
suspicious character. If we can find some way to free him from the influence, then he could sneak into the church and destroy the crystal.
Dahlia,
You wanna brew up some more tea, Cole?
Yes?
well, I don't have another idea. I mean, honestly, I'm surprised the tea even made it to you. I didn't think that would go. I didn't think that would even make it. But
It's as if the shadows are watching over us, it seems, even in this dark hour.
well, it sounds like all we need to do is just hit him with some more tea.
I have a feeling that the first time might have been a fluke. The second time, Lyriel isn't a simpleton. He'll catch on. The
How
only
well
thing
protected is the crystal?
I've never seen it unguarded, and that doesn't include the delightful person who was always escorting.
How far underground is it?
You'll have to forgive. There's something about the nature of the inner workings of the church. The spaces are rather difficult to reckon, and I was never the best at navigating, but it seemed like a flight of stairs, perhaps a bit more. That
The
which
crystal
brings
may
me to
also be warping space.
well, that brings me to another thing. If the only entrance to the basement of the church is a stairwell, that's a choke point where even if we tried to swarm them, one person could hold us almost indefinitely, even if they had like a long stick, a spear, something of that nature. It's
I
a
wasn't planning
terrible
to assault the
tactical
crystal
situation.
from within the church.
Well, I don't see how you can get to the basement otherwise.
Well, church is on
We
a
have-
hill, isn't it?
Oh, I don't like the sound of what you're saying, Mr. Iron.
I mean, it is an idea, but I
As
feel like we need to.
as you engage her in conversation, it's very clear that she hasn't been able to have a real conversation in some time. But as you're talking, like, she slips more into a little bit of her familiar self, albeit still looking the worse for wear.
Mhm.
That reminds me, Mr. Irons, you aren't trying to do a direct assault, are you? And
No.
no. What's this grand scheme you have? I
Well, before we realized that you had been freed from the influence, our plan was to come here with this Mr. Gray and attempt to work some sort of negotiation with the nymph. This was mostly his idea. I don't know what he was going to offer in exchange.
that is a very good question. We don't know what we have to bargain for. I could, of course, offer myself as a hostage, but then we'd be in the same boat. And that doesn't seem likely. Also, if I start advocating on your behalf, I have no doubt that Lyriel will become more than a little suspicious and might be slightly more insistent than she was last time. And considering what she could have done, what she managed casually, it will be something tricky indeed.
Mr. Gray pipes up and he says, "We need to figure out exactly what it is she's after, what her aim is, what she wants. That's how we get a bargaining chip."
Any
We
insight,
gotta get
Malia?
some leverage.
Vico might know what she wants.
Or Alina.
Or we could just ask her, but
Yeah.
that she has been relatively forthcoming, not just with me. She seemed to be straightforward with you all as well.
That's the thing. She seemed to be straightforward.
Tells you to control your mind.
As much as I am loath to say it, I feel that paranoia might be working against us in this case.
Okay. So what do you suggest?
Well, we need to negotiate. We need an angle. We know what we want. We need to get Vico out of there. As for the mission, I think it's very clear that we've ascertained how much of a threat this cult is and what they're using to facilitate their rapid spread. So I think that in itself would be more than enough to report back to the sheriff. And
There's the matter of Elena to think about. Although that might have to be a bit more of a... Well, Vico, we're not leaving without Vico, and that's a fact.
Yeah. We can't leave
But
without him at this point.
Elena
as-
seemed to be a little bit more enthusiastic than Vico was even. She was preaching the sermons. Vico had to be instructed.
Was that
I
her?
think-
Was that her in front of the altar that we saw when we visited the church?
Quite.
Do you think she is under the same spell that Vico is? Or is he doing it voluntarily?
Well, whether or not her beliefs are in error, I think it's safe to say that everyone in the town is some form of true believer. If she is indeed charmed, that just means she came by her beliefs with an error in base assumptions that Lyriel is her friend.
I mean, Lyriel may be her friend now. They've certainly spent a lot of time together. Whether she's a good friend or not is another matter.
I suspect that Lyriel is incapable of being anyone's friend, but I happen to be biased in that respect, seeing as she tried to ensorcel me, and I don't tend to like that.
You don't like being ensorcelled? Me
I
either,
take
bro.
too kindly to somebody trying to kidnap part of our group.
Lily stands up and says, "Well, whatever we need to do, we should probably get a move on with it. The more we sit here talking, the
last time
longer
we
that
rushed in,
Vico
the last
guy's gonna
time-
be stuck."
Yes.
Last time we rushed in, we got 2 of our people kidnapped. Do we have an actual plan this time?
Plan is to negotiate.
The plan
Well,
should be
look.
to stick together by the seams of it, right?
Who's going to be doing the negotiations?
I would think Gray.
I don't recommend that.
Thalia,
Well,
You've all
Morozov.
met her. If anything, the way it should be is that Lily and I should wait at the gates. The event that the rest of you need a way carved out. The rest of you should enter and stay as tight together as possible.
Furthermore, it would, if any time that you spend here, well, especially if Lily and Mr. Gray are outside, one of them could go and fetch help if the worst does happen. How long do you reckon that we'll have? You said something about 10 minutes passing. inside while one passes out. So,
About that.
Yeah.
About that
Something
ratio,
like that.
yes.
I
So
don't
then-
understand it, frankly.
so then by my
Good seems.
reckoning, getting to the center of town and having a sit down, it'll take about 2 hours. So if we don't come back in a day, I think it's safe to say that something's gone terribly wrong. And one of
If
you
we don't come
should,
back within half an hour.
I don't know. I'm not too worried
be
about the
about half an hour.
specifics of the of that.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to more computationally inclined people.
You guys could wait outside the town for about 3 or 4 minutes. And
You
then
think
No,
go
that
wake up.
no, that'd be much. No, that's much too short of a time.
You think that we'll be able to accomplish this in half an hour? That's bold.
Tell you
I
what,
think it'll take
No,
us.
maybe not
I
half
think
an
the
hour.
plan is simple. We don't wait outside the gates, we wait at the gates.
That's fair.
Very good.
Sure, sounds good. Then you will have to deal with. Perhaps you can make readings with any instruments you may have brought with you.
More importantly, if we are having to make an escape, it gives Lily an ideal place to set up and give them hell.
Yes.
I don't know about your
That's true.
capabilities, Mr. Gray, but I reckon, I suspect you don't intend to engage with them directly.
My skills are classified, but let it be known that should something transpire, I am adequately prepared for what I must do.
Then that seems like an excellent choice. She kind of straightens her hair and seems visibly nervous.
Oh, before we
Okay.
head out,
We're behind you, Thalia.
one moment. Talia, I wanted to apologize that we left you here so long, but I just wanted to let you know that. Now you're here among friends, and we're not going to leave you again. Okay?
Well, you had no way of knowing exactly how much time you lost. Or rather, I lost, I suppose. But
I had a guess, and it turns out the guess was actually fairly accurate.
if it's any consolation, I wandered on my own to you. A month is... Well, I've had better months, but... Perhaps I'd rather not speak of it.
I don't
Okay,
ask you
so
to.
let's-
I just ask
let's
that,
focus up.
that from now on, well, we'll be with you, alright?
What is our objective?
Objective. Our main one is to get Vico out.
Rescue Vico.
Yeah.
Negotiating his release, yes.
Alright.
Okay.
And then...
What is our bargaining chip?
That is something we will have to discover
be
on the fly
determined.
after speaking with her.
That doesn't seem
Well-
like a good idea, but okay.
We are
We have a
confronted with an overwhelming force. Without a specific edge, I do believe we are pretty much at her mercy. Which is a lovely, comforting thought that won't at all cause me to lose sleep at night.
So are you
Do we
guys
have- okay.
getting ready to walk in right now?
That's
Yeah.
right.
All right.
The other
As you
question- the
stand
other
up
question, I
to
guess-
as you stand up to head in, Thalia, Lily quickly approaches you and just firmly embraces you into a big bear hug.
Oh, well, thank you.
Okay, so
Th-
go ahead. Finish
I
what you're
very
saying.
much appreciate that. She kind of whispers something in her ear before walking off.
Ooh, okay.
Right.
If
Well,
we don't
can I
have a
hear what it
solid-
is? Can I hear what it is?
No.
Aw.
Okay, if
She
we don't have
whisper-
a solid primary plan, can we at least have a solid backup plan?
Run like hell.
That is not a solid plan.
It is
I-
the best we will
That's the
get.
most solid plan you guys have had so far.
I think it
That's a
it
terrible
does.
plan.
Yes, it's better than nothing.
How about collapse the structure of the church?
That would require a great deal of setup and time that we do not actually have.
And we might harm people who are at least partially
Yeah.
mostly innocent inside the church.
Not to mention trapping ourselves inside of it if things go awry.
And if we're gonna,
I was only planning on having doing anything to do with that if things were already going awry.
Oh,
The backup
We
plan is
do-
for if things are already going awry.
we do have a plan if we have to run away from the church, though.
We do?
If we have to, yes. If we have to
I
make
wasn't
a
made
quick,
aware of that.
if we have to make a quick getaway from the church, we could collapse the bridge.
do we have things in place for that? That
We
would require a
don't,
great deal
not
of
as far as I'm aware.
Do you have the explosives on you right now?
I've always got them.
He does
Oh.
actually.
Could they destroy the bridge?
If put in the right place, I'd assume so.
How
bridge
big of an
doesn't look-
inconvenience is destroying the bridge? I feel like it's not that big of a deal from what I remember.
The river is quite shallow. I don't think if the bridge is destroyed, they could simply wade past. It might slow them down a little bit, but the moment we leave the town outskirts, assuming we get out of there alive, they will simply rebuild it. It is pointless to let it stay as it is, after all.
Another thing to note is that as soon as we leave the town, the people will arrive almost instantly behind us.
That's
I-
fair.
The other thing is I've noticed people are very hesitant to leave, as you said. That's why I was camped in the outskirts. So
Why didn't I think this before? We could have kidnapped someone and taken them outside, see what happened. Oh well.
What?
I-
I also suggested that. Were you not around for that?
Kidnapping and extortion. Ooh, I'm very
No,
proud of
not
you, Meredith.
No, not extortion. We're waiting to see if the charm effect breaks.
I didn't.
But yes,
I didn't.
kidnapping.
I didn't think you were so determined to accomplish things.
Hey, as long as no one's getting hurt, then well.
Ah, yes, kidnapping, famously not hurtful.
Hey. What good is kidnapping if you don't
Alright,
have
if we're
something?
gonna kidnap
planned?
somebody, I nominate Alina.
Well,
Elena's
that
gonna be difficult
Difficult. She's in the
focus.
middle of the church. We can just find the closest person on the outskirts of the city.
All
I
right.
hate to say it.
Are we
Fair enough.
approaching?
I think now is the time to approach.
In that
Okay.
case,
We do
I
not
think
have
this
good
is a
plan, but that's
great
fine.
place to end the stream for the night, and we will catch
Yo.
you all in the next one. Thank you so much for hanging out with us.
Alright, let's go.
Hopefully everybody will be able to make it next time, but
yeah.
if not, we'll see what happens. Thank you so much again. And with that, take care of yourselves, take care of your friends, drink lots of water, sleep well.
Stay safe and be well, folks.
Gale Force out.